So the orgasmic draw, this is one of my favorite exercises. It was really simple for me to learn this, and it was very life-changing. And this is a very simple way to start drawing your sexual energy out, away from your genitals, to the rest of your body, and start experiencing full-body orgasmic states. Now this uses we're using the Microcosmic Orbit energy channel, and I recommend checking out my other video on opening the Microcosmic Orbit, because the more clear and open this pathway is, the more success you're going to have with drawing energy through it. It's like there's a road and it's full of traffic. You know, you're not going to be able to navigate very easily through that road when it's jammed with traffic. Whereas if it's wide open, the lanes are wide open, there's no one in your way, you can just cruise through it. Same concept with these energy channels. You want to have it open and flowing before you start trying to jam sexual energy through it, or else you might run into some stagnation, congestion problems. So I highly recommend working with your Microcosmic Orbit before you do this practice. But anyways, so essentially we're using a lot of muscular tension, sort of flexing the muscles, as the main method of moving the energy, as well as awareness of the channel guiding the energy. When you flex your muscles, your blood has to rush there to make that happen. And so you know, you're aroused, all the sexual energy is building up in your genitals, but if you start flexing your muscles, that helps draw that energy, that overexcited energy, away from there and throughout your body. So that's the first and most important thing with this practice, is the flexing of the muscles. And it's a bit of a crude practice. You know, when you do this, I'm just going to warn you, you're going to look like you're having a seizure or something, so it's great to practice this on your own first. Like any sexual practice, I recommend practicing by yourself, because it's a lot easier to start working with your own sexual energy, you know, before you start to try to control it when you're with a partner. Because aroused sexual energy is it's like a wild horse. It's fiery, it's out of control. It's a lot harder to control versus the unaroused sexual energy. And when you're with a partner, there's that added excitement and stimulation, not to mention their own sexual energy you're trying to work with as well. So it's best to train by yourself when you're learning these things. So we'll get into the practice. So essentially what you do is, this is something to use once you're aroused and you have some sexual energy built up and you feel like ejaculation might be approaching, you know, you're approaching that point of no return. And so what you do is, I'll just show you the exercise. So let's say I'm here, I'm aroused, and you stop stimulation, having sex, whatever you're doing, stop, and you want to be standing when you do this at first. So what you do is, I'm going to look really weird doing this, just to warn you. What you do is, you flex all your muscles. You flex your leg muscles, your feet muscles, or claw into the earth with your feet. You flex your butt, especially, that's a big muscle. Contract your pelvic floor muscles, like the muscles you use to keep yourself from going to the bathroom. You really squeeze those muscles. Your arms, you tuck your chin in and flex this muscle in the back of your head around the C7 vertebrae. There's a big pump here. There's also one in the sacrum. So pretty much you're flexing every muscle in your body. So look upward with your eyes, place your tongue against the roof of the mouth, and you exhale, and then inhale as you contract. And really feel, especially squeezing the perineum muscles, and you feel like there's a vacuum just pulling that energy. You focus on the back channel, pulling that energy up the back, the spine, up to the crown of the head, placing your awareness at the top of the head, sort of, you can maybe feel a spiral there as you pull the energy up. So that's essentially the practice. And it's going to be different than having a genital orgasm, an ejaculatory orgasm that you might be familiar with. But this is going to as you bring that energy away from the genitals, it starts to move into the rest of the body, and suddenly the rest of your body starts to feel a lot more orgasmic. Your body will start pulsing, and You might feel a little pressure in your brain. And the biggest indicator of whether or not you're doing this correctly is your erection will start going down. It might go completely away after you do this a few times. That's the idea, is you're drawing that sexual energy away, and you might notice your arousal's dropping a lot too. So what we're doing with this practice is we're just drawing that sexual energy out of the testicles and into the body. We're bringing it up into the head. And so we're spraying that energy throughout our body, and it's going to keep us from ejaculating, and is also going to give us potentially a full body orgasm experience. And you can bring this to different areas of the body, but with this practice right now I'm just going to focus on bringing it up the back of the spine, up to the head. And you can do this as many times as you want. You know, you can say you're practicing by yourself, you're just stimulating yourself, so you get kind of close to that point of no return, but you don't want to get too close at first. You don't want to ejaculate and lose your energy. I mean, it's not a huge deal, it's going to happen sometimes when you're training, but you want to avoid that. So you get close to that point, you draw the energy up, draw it up until your erection goes away, and then you can do it again. You can do this over and over, and keep drawing the energy up, and you're just going to feel like super orgasmic in your body. Your whole body's going to be orgasmic. So instead of that congestion down here, it's going to spread throughout the whole body. And eventually at the end of your session, you're just going to keep drawing and drawing until you don't feel aroused anymore. And so instead of ejaculating that energy out and losing it, you've brought it up to the body, up to the head, charging up the brain, charging the whole body. And so instead of feeling exhausted by, sex or masturbation, whatever you're doing, you're going to have more energy. You're going to be just flowing with this energy. So that is the sort of the concept and the basis of this practice. So I'll walk you through it with a bit more detail. So what you're going to do is, so you're here, you're aroused, and you can do this at any point. You can do it when you're unaroused just to practice, but any point in which you're aroused, and if you don't want to get too close to the point of no return, you can just stop and draw up the energy, go a little more, stop, draw up the energy. So it's important you stop stimulating yourself to do this practice though, just to really get it a solid feeling for it. So let's say we're aroused and we're going to pull the energy up. So it's good to take a few deep breaths, like exhale the air out, inhale, clench the muscles, look up, and pull the energy up the spine to the brain. Holding the breath in, holding all the muscles for as long as you can. Let it go, relax, and feel that energy just pulsing up the spine. Feel it in the top of the head. Spiral it here a little bit with your mind. Spiral it one way a few times and then the other way. So clockwise and counterclockwise, sort of circulating throughout the brain. So even if you're unaroused and you're doing this, you might feel some energy rushing up, and you're especially going to feel that if you are aroused. So we'll do this again. So a few of these sort of bellows breathing, where it's more rapid inhale, deep belly breaths. This helps get your energy charged up. Exhale the air out. Inhale, clench the muscles, especially clench the perineum, tuck the chin, squeeze the C7, eyes up, tongue to roof the mouth, and pull the energy up the spine. Relax, exhale. Totally relax, just feel the energy moving up. And the tightening of the muscles is really important first. The more you tighten those muscles, the more you're going to be drawing that aroused energy out of the genitals. And the focusing up the spine up to the brain gives it a pathway to move in. So you're just using your mind to circulate it up. Just like you can take your hand and just kind of rub it up the back of your body to the head just to get that feeling. That's essentially what you're feeling when you're moving that energy up. And you may not have a strong feeling of the energy. That's okay. As long as your erection's going down, you're noticing you become less aroused as you do this several times. you're doing it right. And you may also feel some like tingling, some buzzing, or some pressure in your head. And that brings me to another point. When you're doing this by yourself, you're just masturbating and you're bringing all this energy up to your head, you're going to be, it's going to be very yang, very fiery energy, and you might experience some headaches or excessive head pressure. So you don't want to overdo this too much. I mean, it'll be okay, you're not going to die from this, but you might have some uncomfortable sensations of pressure in your head. And what you can do this is you bring the energy down the front channel of the microcosmic orbit and store it in the belly. And the way to do this is place the tongue against the roof of your mouth. So say you've brought some energy up doing this draw up to your brain, and now you want to bring it down. So a good thing to do is, so placing the tongue against the roof of the mouth, I bring my hands up here to the top of my head, take a deep breath, inhale, and it feels as though I'm just guiding, as you're just guiding this energy down. Exhale, tongues against the roof of the mouth. Feel like it's like a thick honey, this energy, and it's just moving down from your body. And then feel as though you can do this a few times. Inhale, exhale, bring this energy down. Feel the energy following your hands, and it's storing in the navel. So feel as though there's like this suction in your navel. It's just pulling all the energy of your body into it. So this is where you want to store your sexual energy. It's called the lower dantian, this power center in your belly. And so just feel it collecting here. So that's essentially it. That's the orgasmic draw. As you advance in this practice, you'll be able to rely less on the muscular tension. You know, obviously, if you're with your partner and you're having sex, you're not going to be like, okay, hold on, and jump up and, you know, let me do this thing. You know, it's going to be a little awkward. I mean, you can if they're open to that, but this is why I recommend training by yourself, because as you get good at this, it will become very natural, and you can just focus on just bringing the energy up with your mind and your breath, and, you know, a squeeze in your perineum, and that's all it'll take to move that energy up. You're more likely to be experiencing the full body orgasms, the multiple orgasms, when you're with a partner, because that combination of yin and yang energy. But you're going to definitely notice some orgasmic sensations by yourself as well, and I would say it's very superior to just ejaculating regularly and losing all that energy, because you're going to build up a lot of energy doing this practice. And just some other things, like I mentioned before, how if you're doing this by yourself, you're going to be cultivating a lot of yang energy, you know, your own fiery sexual energy, and you can balance this out with some like more yin activities. Gardening is great, connecting with the earth's chi. The earth's chi is very yin, it's very cooling. Just, you know, walking barefoot. Exercise is good to burn off any excess heat, you know, just running, riding your bike around, lifting weights is going to burn off any excess energy. I was experiencing some headaches and things like that when I first started this practice, but as I opened my microcosmic orbit more, I was able to move that energy down, and that was no longer a problem. So that's basically it. You get aroused, clench the muscles, bring it up to the brain, and then bring it down to the navel. And when you're doing this with a partner, females can do this as well, and you can sort of coordinate your drawing of each other's energy. You know, when you're doing it with a partner, you're cultivating, you're drawing up their energy and yours, and you can circulate it through the channels, and then they can draw it from you and circulate it through their channels. So this is an incredible exercise, and there's a lot more variations on it, different parts of the body you can pull the energy to. I'll be making more videos on these sorts of things in the future, but I hope this helps you guys, and I think it will improve your sex life a lot. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.